Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the
Good
Government
evening.
Procurement Institute. We will be recording this webinar tonight, and today's topic we're going to be covering what's in a business model and your NAICS code. The reason I wanted to, um, the reason I wanted to have this webinar because I think people were being challenged when I was asking about what your business model and getting your business model approved. If you all recall, when I first did, I think it was 2 weeks ago when I drew the chart out of what a business model looked like, and I used the example of the basketball and the owner of the basketball team, meaning that owner is never down there playing basketball. So I think what I was hearing, and based on some of the um, models and approvals that I'm getting from people, I'm not quite sure if people are getting what that picture should really look like. So what I wanted to do is to bring up some other websites so that you can get the feeling or get an understanding of what I was talking about. Um, when I hold on. When I go to, I'm still getting people in. When I go to the actual PowerPoint, again, I started out with your business model looking like this. And again, I'm going to end up muting everyone. What I was asking is if people to mute their own phone, but I'm going to try to mute you myself because nobody wants to mute. But anyway, this is what an actual business model look like. When I look at the business model, hold on. These were the boxes, and I had 4 boxes to begin with, and you can determine whatever your boxes are, but you're still going to stay somewhere in your background. That makes sense. So when I go and look at other people's websites in their business model, I just wanted to show you a couple of business models. I don't know if all of you were at Mr. Robinson's orientation session, but when you go and look at his business model, it is based on his 4 boxes. Well, he has 6 boxes instead of 4. These are his divisions or service areas that he's offering the government. So when you go and look at the actual division and the services under those divisions, it's going to tell you these are the services that we're offering and selling to the government. So to the government, under my administrative services division, I'm offering administrative support. I have call centers, document preparation services, and all of the above. And each one of these will have a NAICS code associated with it. You get that?
Yes.
So if I go to another one, this is Infinite Services and Solutions. When you look at that, can you tell what they do? Anybody? It's a broad enough name that you don't really know what he does. But if I go down, here are his 4 boxes. So in his integrated logistics division, he has an IT, an engineering, and a program management division. So if I look at integrated logistics, he's going to tell you this is the services that we're offering to the government: logistics, maintenance, transformation, material handling, packaging, and shipping. So they are servicing the government in these areas, primarily with the military. If you look at the owner's background, if you look at it, he has a master's degree in information technology. So, although he has a master's degree in technology, he's not necessarily um, know anything about engineering. He's bringing on his own team to fulfill those positions. I'm going to give you another an example. IQ Solutions. When I look at IQ Solutions, when you look at this name of this company and her website, what you can't really tell what she's doing. But if I go down here to her boxes, she also has six boxes. So if you look at health communications, she's telling you these are the types of services that I'm going to be offering the government as it relates to health communication. When I look at design, this is branding, PR. She's just called public relations. When I look at the things that she's offering under here, so that will all of these will have different NAICS codes. When you go to information centers, same thing. She's doing call centers, um, inventory management, library management, online chat. As it relates to her social marketing, this is what she's saying. This is what we can do for the government. Technical assistance, trainings, program development. She's offering all of these different services to the government. The technology is pretty broad, but she also, if you go back up, has case studies to back up what they're offering or what they've done. Providing visuals of everything that they've done. And again, you can use your teams. You don't necessarily have to base it all on your expertise. That's why I always go about your team's experience. And these are all. Look at this. Can you imagine this? This is the government. They had a contract from the National Institute of Drug Abuse to develop a search engine for their Google Pub and Google Scholars. So you can go and look at and see what everybody else. Is this all making sense to you all? Or is this helping you to define what your business model should look like?
Yes.
Huh? So I can go to any other industry. This is an environmental. She's actually construction, but she's taking the lead as an environmental company. She's also 8A. She's highlighting what she's doing. And then let's look at her services. When you look at her services, she has 8 boxes. Now, just because she has all these 8 boxes, do you think it's all dependent on her skill set? Absolutely not. So if I look at environmental training, let's see, she has a link. She's telling you these are the services that we're offering under different of her environmental consulting division. If you go to construction, she's highlighting these are the actual tasks and services that we are offering. Now, let me go back and look at let me look at an example of the capability statement that I gave you guys. As a template. Let me go to my templates. Give me 1 second. Okay. If I look at the sample capability statement, these are the four boxes. These are the services under these divisions that I'm offering to the government. So I'm telling the government I can do website design, database design, web application as it relates to my IT division. I would not put, I made a mistake here. I wouldn't put the operations person there because that's an overhead position. I would keep it to the skill sets of the employees. So what you'll see is this team is matching the director of program policies, the director of publications and graphics, the director of event planning, and the director of IT. And I'm saying this is my team's experience. I'm never saying they're my employees. Because again, the government is okay with contingency hires. You're just demonstrating that they're your team. And then I'm constantly highlighting my team's experience and just putting one or two as case studies. And then on the back, it is the partial list of my team's experience. So everything is referencing my team. Any questions? Hello?
No.
Is this helpful in you all as you begin to identify your business model and the services in your NAICS code?
Yes, very helpful.
Yes.
Ms. Paula?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very helpful, Paula. Thank you.
Yes,
Ms. Paula, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So you want us to use this format here as our capability?
You can, I'm just, this, you can use your own format. I'm just giving this as information. So I don't want people to take this and just put their stuff in there. I want you to be creative and come up with your own format. I'm going to show you something because when you're developing your capability statement, again, you have to look at it. You have to look at it as your resume.
Right. So I didn't know
So
if you
it's going to
do
change.
like
I'm going to show you some other
showed us too.
capability statements so that you'll get a feel of what I'm saying. So this particular company I worked with,
Yeah,
and this is the front page of his capability statement. These are his divisions as it relates to IT in these areas. This is the back page of it. But if I go back, this is page 2. I'm gonna go back to page 1. Hold on. Let me go back to another one. Hold on. Come on out. How do I get out? What happened to my dots? Hold on one second. So this particular company, this is his IT, and this is the front of his IT. He has a training capability statement and a multimedia conference and a conference capability. So for his joint venture, this was a joint venture capability. But let me start with the front of the training. So for his training, this is what he's talking about. This is who we are. He's telling a little bit about who he is. He's telling these are the types of services that we're offering, and these are the team members that's that's able to do those services. That's the front of his capability statement. If I go to the second page of it, he's talking about his team's experience. And these are the NAICS codes as it relates to that particular training, as it relates to training. If I look at his multimedia, this is what he's saying he does for multimedia. So he customized it based on the agency he was targeting. So if you look at the different areas, this is what he's offering the government as it relates to his multimedia component. If I look at the back of it, it's talking about his or his team's past experience. And these are the NAICS codes that he's using as it relates to this particular industry. And then what he also did to help himself, he color coded it. This is a joint venture capability statement where he was able to partner with a service disabled and an 8A company, and they created a joint venture capability statement combining the services that they're offering, that they now can market to the government. He's identifying whose team he's on and which team each of the individuals based on the services that they're offering to the government. So this is a joint venture capability statement. So if I look at the back of the joint venture capability statement, it's highlighting both companies' experience as it relates to what they're trying to market to the government. Does this make it any clearer? Or did I confuse you even more? Huh?
It's clearer to me. It is.
Okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Any questions? Well, if there's no questions, we're going to go ahead and conclude this webinar. Yes.
Now, so do you want us to do the graph with the boxes, or actually do the whole?
I would like to see the graph with the boxes. Make it like an organizational chart. So if you look at that organizational chart, and you can, so under here, and I would change that. I wouldn't use event services. I would probably make that a service under it, but make it broad. And then you're going to list the task under it. That's all I'm looking for. Nothing complicated. Someone asked, how can we fill it in if we're just starting a business? That's the whole purpose of the collaboration in the team. It's not about you. It's about trying to put everybody else's services and collaborating. I may not know IT, but I know that out of the 60 people that's in your class, they have IT. Somebody in there has IT or have your expertise. Again, you're just trying to demonstrate to the team, to the government, that you have a team of experts that you can award you a contract. They're available for you. This is my expertise.
Amen.
Any other questions? Did that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the whole beauty of what we're trying to do in building up this database. So we should never have to be trying to look for people as we begin and as you all begin from looking at and responding to those notices. You should be able to pull from within the community of skill sets that we have right here at GPI at the New Birth community. Huh? Yes?
Miss Paula, can you hear me?
Yes.
As my phone is echoing.
We can
Now,
hear you.
okay, when we set up our capability statement, that is going to be basically a broad overview showing all of our NAICS codes. But when we go to submit to bid on a contract, that's when we're going to cater our said resume for the contract that we're bidding on. We're going to cater that
No,
a little
ma'am.
bit more detail.
No, ma'am. What you're
Okay.
gonna read, and the government is interchangeable. So
Okay.
that when you think of that first capability statement that you're giving to me, that's your brochure. That's a 1-2 snapshot of it, and that little piece of paper is going to travel across agencies. So that's why it has to be able to tell the story after you've been there. Now, when you're getting ready to respond to things in the proposal, on FBO, they'll use that same language interchangeable. They'll say, "Let me see a sample capability statement," but we want it to be 5 to 10 pages long, right?
Okay.
That's why I gave you all the template. This is the template for responding to those sources sought notices. And it's saying a capability statement. This is customized and tailored to that particular sources sought notice.
The 5 to 10 page template that you get is catered towards the specific response.
Correct, because you'll see right here. This is I'm telling them. I just put a little blank words in. We are trying to respond to this opportunity to support 33 meetings as outlined in the sources sought reference number, and that number up there is what would be included there.
Okay.
I'm briefly describing what that notice is about, right?
Yes.
And then I'm talking about the company and my company and why I think we are good for this particular notice.
Okay.
If I'm using a subcontractor, I'm trying to sell the government in these 10 pages of why they should set this aside for a small business or 8A. So if I go down, I'm telling them why it's the advantage. Because my proposed team, I'm never saying that they're employees. You getting this? That's key.
Yes.
It's team.
Yes.
I'm never saying any of these people are my employees. This is my team that I'm proposing to you. I have a project director who has 20 years of experience in managing this types of contract. And I have a subcontractor that I'm going to use that I have an agreement with. And then I just give a highlight leading the government buyer into my response. I'm letting them know in this section, this is what we're going to cover. This section, this is what we're going to cover. But it's still based on what they were asking for in that notice. So you still have to go, even though this is the template, you still have to make sure that you're responding to what they're requesting in that notice when you identify it from the team's perspective.
Okay.
They're going to tell you step by step what they want in that response.
So that
Okay?
means that we'll just have to continue to modify our capability statement each time.
No, ma'am, these are two different documents for two different purposes. The the front and back one-page document is for marketing.
Okay.
This particular capability statement, as the government is referring to, is responding to sources sought notices.
Okay.
Because they're specifically asking for specific information to determine who can do this contract. Remember, I said this is the government's first stage of procurement to determine who's out there.
Right.
So if you give them that front and back capability statement, that's talking about you as a company. This is responding specifically to their request. So that's why I had you all to get into teams so that you all can collectively understand how to respond to those notices.
All right.
You got me?
Yeah, I think so.
That don't sound like a very confident yes.
But nobody else has said anything. There's about 20 of us on here.
It makes more sense. It's clear, a lot clearer. So I guess
Okay.
it does make sense now.
Just think of this as your brochure,
Right.
right? So the government, they're saying, we want to see your capability, your marketing. This is what you're going to use when you go to industry days, when you're introducing yourself.
Okay.
This notice right here is going back to FBO. If I go back to FBO, if I go back to FBO, I'm looking at what the source of salt notices that are out today. Source of salt, and if I look, see, this is where the medical people come in. Ultrasound technologists, the RNs, the nurses, accounting services. So let's look at anyone that has the financial background. So if I'm looking at accounting services, and you always have to go back here. And look at what they're looking for. They only want you to answer this and provide this information. This information is on the cover of the information. So this is an easy one. They're not asking for much detail. But down here is the statement of work. They may do. So if I look at the statement of work, it's going to tell me what the government is looking for you to do. It's taking a little time to pull it up. So now do you get that these are two separate documents that we're working with?
Yes.
Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
Amen.
Got it.
Amen.
That's a pretty big file. So it's okay. So here is the actual statement of work. They're telling you a little bit about the agency, and then it's going to give you a background, and it's telling you what it's looking for. So if I go down a little further, you can go read through it, but I generally try to get to the task, program objectives, and this is what they're asking the contractor to perform, and you need to be able to demonstrate that you can do this. So this is somebody that has accounting background, right? Prepare monthly. That's easy, right? If you're an accountant, you're doing this anyway for your clients.
Mhm.
So you just have to be able to demonstrate that you have the past performance and the capability based on your team to do the work. So this contract they're going to ask to work on site. They want somebody, so you're just going to hire somebody to go up there or find somebody in the DC area to work on that on site. Now, it's telling you the project description. I mean the job description, and that's one full-time employee. They're talking about 2 full-time employees that they'll need as an analyst and a consultant. Minimum of 2 years. This is the job description that they're looking for. Okay? I wanted to show you one other company that's here locally as well. Now, what I always do is look at my homework. So if I look at Carter Consulting, can't tell what he does, can you? Right? It's a broad enough time. But if I go here, this is the services that he's offering. These are his boxes. So if you go to workforce development, he's telling you they got a contract with workforce development. It was a pilot program. It's not really telling them what type of services that they're offering as it relates to fine. Here, they're telling you what they're doing. He's saying this contract was for 30 full-time on-site accountants and financial managers to assist with that. So this is what they're offering. Now, if I want to be a little more strategic, and this is part of you all, of your team's effort, that's why I'm asking you to identify 10 your top 5 agencies and the top 5 vendors who are in your industry. So what I always do is to go back to my Bible. My Bible is FPDS. That's the government's checkbook. So I can look up the companies. So if I look up Carter Consulting, Inc., did it come up? Let's try something else. Carter Consultant. Let me increase this so you all can see what I'm saying. This is a company that's here locally. This one, let's go here. This is a local firm here, right? He's gotten all his contracts, a total of, can you all see that? Almost 1,200 contracts from CDC, 1,100 from CDC, 8 from the program support system. Now, I can download all of his contracts because, again, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. Okay. So I can actually, again, literally see when he got into the game. Let me just pull this up just a second. And I always go in and do a sort. And if you haven't had a chance to use Michael's tech savvy video, I'm telling you the Excel spreadsheet works. I can go and see, and you can see the NAICS code that he's getting his contracts in, right? Over here. And you can see when he started in the game. He started February 7th, February 21st, 2007, since he got his first contract. So in 9 years, he's won $180 million in contracts.
Wow.
All from where?
CDC.
All from CDC. One agency, and he's still getting contracts. Just got one paid today. That's what action obligation is. That means that's how much they've actually paid. When you see the red marks, again, this is a counting system, so they are reconciling the books. That's why you see it, all this activity happening on that one day. They're going in and reconciling books. Okay? Any other questions?
Yes, I have one about our homework that is due Saturday. So for our next code,
Yes. That's based on the reason I wanted you all to determine your business model, because that's going to drive your NAICS code.
Okay.
Okay, what was, hello? Hello?
yes.
Okay.
Miss Paula, it would help if everybody who's not speaking would just put their phone on mute so we would not have feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's the echo. There's an echo in the phone.
Did I answer everyone's questions? On Saturday, what I'm looking for is this. That's going to outline your NAICS codes, right? This is your business model. And this, a draft of your individual. These are all individual, not team efforts. This is individuals. Okay?
The capability statement,
Yes.
according to the plan, is not due until the fall.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't have my schedule in front of me. So if it's not due to the following Saturday, I have another week.
Yes, so this week is our next code and our SAM registration.
This what?
This week is our next code and our documentation to show you that we registered in SAM and
Correct.
small business.
Yes, because the reason I wanted, because the reason I wanted this to be approved first, because this is going to drive your NAICS code.
Okay.
Miss Paula, can you mute the phone?
I'm going to try my best, because people aren't behaving, are they?
I have a question.
Yes. Oh.
Sam.
Yes.
What,
Mr. Smiley or Armstrong, men, we need y'all to mute. We have a question, or you can type the question to me.
It's not me.
Armstrong, someone.
Right, and then we keep the hand raised.
Can you send me a chat a question and I'll answer it through the chat box. I'm gonna mute it so everyone can't hear the background.
It matter other people to do me.
So send me whatever question that you were asking, and I'll respond to it for the group through the chat mode. You can email it. The question is, do you want us to email you this info or bring it in? If you can email it electronically, that would work better for me. Any other questions? I'm going to unmute the call. And with that being, how do you complete registration in SAM? The question is, how do you complete registration in SAM without a physical location? If you give us another week, we have been working with New Birth, and we are finally getting close to getting the virtual office in place so that you can use that address. Any other questions?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
For the homework, the second part where we have to show that we registered in SAMS, do we bring our actual documentation to you?
No, if you can email me, because what I want to do is to go in and make sure that your profile is matching your business model and your NAICS code. That was the whole purpose of us first determining what your business model was and the NAICS codes. And yes, you should include what those NAICS codes are on the business model.
Okay.
Model.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And the reason I wanted you to provide me with a copy of that dynamic small business search, because you want to see what your other competitors are doing. Again, don't try to make this harder on yourself. Look at what your competitors are doing, making sure, and the reason I want your link, because this is the first place that the buyer goes to when they're looking for you. So the first thing that they'll do is a quick market search. When you look at the quick market search, what's the first thing that you see? NAICS codes and keywords. So you need to make sure that you are, you have to make sure that you are in sync with everybody else. So when I look at the form, I'm acting as the buyer. This is what the buyer is going to do when they come in to find a business. They'll put in a NAICS code or keywords, but I'm not going to put in anything. I'm just going to search by the state. So it's telling me there are currently 110 8A firms that are certified. And if you look at the first 10, do you see a problem?
We can't see anything. I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see? I still need somebody to mute their phones, please, in the background. Okay. Let me get back. to the okay. If you look, can you see the screen now? Can everyone see the screen now?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you look at, and if I'm the buyer and I'm looking for you, and do you see anything wrong with these first 10?
Okay.
This information isn't complete.
One of
And if you don't complete it, and if you don't complete it properly in SAM, it's not going to show up. Because these are two different databases. And the first impression is the last. So look at your competitors and see what type of language they're using in their capability narrative. As part of the homework, yes, Ms. Lillian, I want to wait until I look at your NAICS codes before you go back in there and get them approved. That's the whole exercise of you turning in that homework on Saturday. But if you look in here, it's showing you when these firms are graduating from the program, correct?
Yeah.
If you go in and look at, let me find a company now, I know that, and look at some of their names. Let's look. But you can see how many people aren't filling out their SAM profile correctly. So if I'm a buyer, I'm just going to keep moving because you haven't even taken the time to complete your narrative. So if I go and look, let me look at a company. Same thing. All of this is being merged from SAM. So if you go down here, you want to make sure when you get into SAM in this section, and there's a webinar on SAM about updating. So when you get in this section, this is where you're going to complete that capability narrative. Now here, he's limiting himself. He only has 8 NAICS codes. That doesn't make sense to me. Let me go and find someone that I know is doing pretty good so that you can see the difference. So you can see how many NAICS codes this company has. She's not limiting herself. And then you have the keywords down at the bottom because that's how they're going to Google you by in their search engine. But if you look at all these other companies, they're incomplete. So this company is really, and then again, if you want to find out about this company, let's see, we see this company is graduating, hold on. I'm going to copy this. This company is graduating next year, right? So I see this company is graduating, and I want to see if they've won any contracts. So what I did was grab that Dun and Bradstreet number and put their key in there. So that's telling me that company hasn't won. And I'm going to go into more details on Saturday on how to navigate with FPDS and use all of this, but this is just a high level. Okay, I have a couple of questions going on here. I have a question from Ms. Thomas. The section in SAM, when you go into SAM and you complete it, there's a checklist, and at the end of that checklist, there's going to be a box that you have to check that says for public information. When you check that public information box, it's going to take you to the SBA's database where you're going to be able to complete that capability narrative. George, he's asking, are you saying there should be a NAICS code associated with each bullet under a box in your business model? Yes, based on the services that you're going to offer. That's why I took you to those other business models so that you can see they're saying these are the services, but these are the tasks that we're doing under those services. I have another question from Kendra. It says, from the DSBS screen, please show us how to send you the link once you review and approve our business code and model. So if I go back to the database scene, the SBA, all you're going to do is just copy, let's see, where is it? You're going to just copy that link. So once you click on your profile and it comes up, when it comes up, and if this is you, only thing that I need for you to do is click on your profile, click on that, copy it, and send it to me. Okay. Okay, Ms. Fur, I am still going up on the business name. I will get back with you, your business model. Any other questions? And was this helpful for you?
Yes.
Yes, extremely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is this all beginning to make sense now while we're having you all being tortured with all of these NAICS codes and business models?
Yes. Yes. It makes
No
sense.
torture, no pain, no gain. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Hello, this is CC. I wasn't able to get through.
Ma'am?
I wasn't able to get through and see what you guys are saying.
I have a recording. I'm recording it, and so I will send it. I will send it to you.
Thank you.
And I will send it out. No, I'm not emailing anymore. It will be in your folder.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
This concludes our webinar on what's in a business model and NAICS code. Thank you, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ms. Paula.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
And we're also going to we're not going to be in the library. I'll be sending out an email tomorrow where we're going to be.
Yes, yes.
Sounds perfect.
Okay? Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to get this tomorrow?
You'll get it very shortly.
Okay.
In a matter of minutes. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you again, Paula. Have a great week.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.